Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Premier League show here on Patreon. We haven't got many of these left.
What, patrons?
No Premier League shows.
No, there isn't. I'll be happy not to do this.
It is getting a bit stressful, isn't it?
I just wish they lived 30 miles up the road. That's the honest truth.
I
can't.
The world would be just a
nicer place.
It'd be just a more relaxing place, isn't it? You know.
The other thing as well, the other thing I would say is that if they just celebrated for themselves and just got on with it, I wouldn't be arsed either. It's the fact that it's shoved in your face.
Yeah.
That just, it really just makes me think, why? I don't understand it. I can't get into that mindset. It's weird.
I wouldn't shove it in anyone's face.
There you go.
But each to their own.
Each to their own, so go on.
Yeah, I mean,
let's get on with it.
Quite a few things sorted out this weekend. One big factor, unfortunately, still up for grabs for the last game of the season.
We knew it. Listen, we said that weeks ago it was going to the wire. We knew it was. We hoped it mightn't, but realistically, we knew it was going to the wire. And I don't like giving Liverpool any credit at all at any time, but they're just brilliant at winning games of football.
They just keep winning games of football, isn't it? I mean,
it helps if you're trying to win.
It does. They are very, very consistent. They've only lost one game in the Premier League to Man City, which I think should be taken into account.
It's bizarre, though, isn't it? What can you do? Read fucking Maris. That's all I've got to say. Blazing penalties.
Well, yeah. There's quite a few people you can. I mean, Jordan Pickford. You could point the finger at Jordan Pickford.
I mean, just on Liverpool.
Point the finger at the referee.
We can have a go at Liverpool, and we like to when we can. But we have to say.
Do you have to?
They have to.
Do you have to say what you're trying to say?
What's mad is someone done a thing. I mean, when you look at third place, Chelsea compared to Liverpool and City, they're miles behind, aren't they?
They are
absolutely miles behind.
Literally. I think.
Was it 23?
I was looking at it the other day, and I was like, you know, when you go, oh, they're closer to the. Then I mean, they're not. Chelsea are not closer to the relegation zone than they are to the top table, obviously. But you know, Liverpool are on 94, Man City are on 95, Chelsea are on 71. So there's a, you know, just 24-point gap between City, and then, you know, to get a 24 gap downwards, you know, you'd have to go to, well, Wolves are on 57,
aren't they? So that's 14.
and you have to go for Crystal Palace on 46.
Yeah, so there you go.
So that's the gap. That's the gap. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. But those two teams have just been. I mean, it's everything, isn't it? Man City have won 31 games out of 37. Liverpool have won 29 games out of 37. You know, City 69 point goal difference. Liverpool 65. Chelsea 24. In fact, Tottenham have got 28. Obviously in fourth place. Man United 13 goal difference. There's 50.
You know when people say, and we've kind of gone, no, you can't say that, but when you look at it, if Everton would have had, you know, a decent season, he could have been right in the mix, couldn't he? You know, for the top four.
Well, it's 13 points. 13 points between us and Man United. Really,
but they're not in. I mean, I'm
four
talking
wins.
Like the top four.
It's four wins. If one of those wins was Man United away, if you want to look at it like that.
But anyway, get on to the games.
So Liverpool played Friday night. Obviously, their game was moved on the Sunday, I think, to the Saturday night from the Sunday because of the which we'll talk about in the footy show. We played Newcastle. Seen on paper as a very, very difficult game, and you know the turned out to be. You know, they were 4 minutes away from a draw. But to be fair to Liverpool, they've been 4 minutes from draws, or 2 minutes from draws, or 1 minute from draws on numerous occasions. And
are we calling it lucky, or are we calling it?
I don't.
Calling it durable?
I can't honestly sit here amongst friends and say I think a team that I've got 94 points and will probably finish with 97 points. I can't sit here and say that's luck. You just can't. They have a formula to win. They have a formula, and I don't even understand that formula when I look at their three midfielders half the time. Because to me, they just look like if you put them in someone else's midfield, they'd just be dogs. But it just works. And I know, well, it's the fullbacks as well. The fullbacks do a very, very good job.
But if you've got three fellas up front who put the ball in the back of the net, mate, it helps.
I think the difference between, not only in quality wise, but the difference in City and Liverpool compared to everyone else, bar maybe Tottenham, who just lack quality, I think, is the main difference is that those two teams are fearless. They are absolutely fearless. They are absolutely 100% certain that the way they play will win them the game. And that's the end of it. And that's the way both managers have got those clubs, is that, and the two different schools of thought. You know, City's a little bit more passy.
Methodical.
Liverpool is a bit more
up on that,
direct, and a little bit, not direct in terms of like long ball, direct in terms of, you know, they're going to go for the jugular. They're going to go straight at you rather than try and cut through you in a way. But they're fearless.
They are direct as well at times.
No, they are. I mean, I've got no problem with that.
Plays back to front very quickly, but
they are fearless, and I think that's what gets them the results. Is that Klopp has turned some ordinary footballers, or perceived ordinary footballers, and he has convinced those players that they are the absolute best. And by convincing them, they have turned into the absolute best.
Well, they play full of confidence.
But that's what I'm saying.
What it is.
The man management of
He's full placebo. Some of them off, because some of them are bang average.
But they
perform at the highest level because they believe in what they're doing.
They do. They perform. There's no fear, and that transmits to the fan base completely that they're going to win every game. I mean, listen, we know what they're like anyway, and this just turns it up to fucking 11 because they are fearless. And there's that idea. It's almost like, I think Klopp's almost turned into two different people. On the pitch, he goes full army, punching his chest and all that. But I think he started to become very methodical off the pitch in terms of what he says to the press now. He's very calm in front of the press, I've noticed recently. He doesn't get excited. There's no hysterics.
I don't listen to where he says.
No, that's fine, but you know, there's no hysterics. He just comes in and says, you know, I heard a little bit before the game, the Champions League game, and he was like, we're missing two world-class strikers, but we'll go and try and win it. And he was just like, I believe in these players because we can swap them over. And Pep's quite similar as well. I think when Pep came in the first year, he got excited at too much and let the press get under his skin. And the second season he'd learned, and he was just like, everything was just like, you know, water off a duck's back from then on. And I think that's a big part of it. People buy in to that calmness when you need to be calm. And I think what that means is that when you say things, it actually has some substance to it. And I think that's one of the big reasons that's where they are. They can both get over the message they want, and obviously they're both good coaches as well. And it's terrifying, to say the least. That on Sunday, it's terrifying because...
Well, it's terrifying because there's nowhere to go after Sunday. It's literally that's it, isn't it? So, in one respect, if City do what they're expected to do, then the champions. And that goes, you know, that fear goes away. Because I will say this now, I don't believe Liverpool will be at the same level next season. I really don't. I don't think they can go another season losing one game with so many goals that are contentious and things. I'm not saying they won't be up there, because they will. I'm not saying they won't be as good as they are in terms of the way they get results, because they will. But I just think it'll be a very different title race next season. Do you think...
here's a question for you. Forget about the team. Do you think Klopp can be at that level? Because he must have to be absolutely mentally at it for every game. I mean, you know, they're playing every 3 days, a lot of the time.
Stressful, isn't it?
And he's full on, and you just wonder. I mean, you bowed out to Dortmund. They were doing great. Never, you know, they won the league and then they lost the Champions League final, and then they had a poor season. You know, where they were in trouble for a while, and then they recovered and finished like 9th or something like that, or 7th, something like that. And then he was like, right, that's me. I've done as much as I can, and you just wonder. Pep had the same thing at Barcelona. How long can he sustain that level? Because that must take a toll on you physically and mentally. That you've got to be at that level every day. I
suppose it'll end up, if they win the Champions League, which they probably will, then he'll go again with them, only because he's got a trophy, hasn't he? He's won them. That, you know. A big trophy. So, but I know what you mean. Can he perform at that level every week? Well, it's difficult, isn't it? I think when you're chasing something. I don't know. He's a really good coach, isn't he? So he probably will be. But
I just wonder
that difficult.
I wonder, even if he wins things, it's all right saying, well, he can just keep going. But recently, you know, you don't. I don't know. It just seems managerial. Being a manager now just seems to be a 24/7 job. And when can you switch off from it? If you are, I mean, I can barely switch off from it, and we're not in anything. But it's all that idea of, it's not just about your game. You start focusing on other people's games.
I think but they're good at switching, and they've got to be, haven't they? That's their profession. They will switch off from it to a certain extent. I think the problem is when you're at a club like Liverpool, there's such a global brand that the demand on everything they do is higher. So say Everton become a team that could win the Premier League and won it, the demands on us wouldn't be the same, even if we were champions going into the next season to try to win it. The demands globally aren't at the same level. Things would go up like it has at Man City, but it's not at the same level as what Liverpool is. Liverpool is like a bit like United. It's the ultimate goldfish bowl for this country. Everything's right. You know, he has to do. Reading a while ago, he has to do something like 10 different interviews a day for different press all over the world and different things that they've got to get out every day. Whereas Marco does two a week or something.
But what would you rather have?
Oh no, listen, we as a club and as a brand, you'd want to be like Liverpool in terms of being everywhere. Of course you would, because it means your club is perpetually growing and making more money. But what I'm just trying to answer your question, or put something around that, is that the demands to be Liverpool's manager, and the way he is, he's not a calm manager. No. He's but
that's why I've noticed that's why maybe he started to be a little bit calmer off the pitch, and maybe that's why Pep Guardiola started to be a little bit calmer, because there's no
deal with it, haven't you?
I think it's like everything in modern life. You fight. People are always seem to be fighting a lot of battles, right? And then at some point you almost have to go. Do you know, like if you're on Twitter, let's say, and you say something and you get loads of comments back, and you like answer every single one, and you're like almost having like 10 different. I used to do it all the time. I used to be the worst for it, and you'd be going, right, I'll fight that one, and to the point now where it's worse when I see something. If I see something now and I don't agree with it, I just go. So,
but that's good.
No, that's what I'm saying. You get to a point, don't you? And I think that's where they almost are. It's like, what's the point if a journalist is doing that to you all the time? I think both of them in the past have gone, you know, what are you doing? What are you saying? What do you mean? Don't offending themselves.
The journalists do that to Klopp. I just see a lot of arse licking where Klopp's concerned.
I mean, I haven't seen that video, but no, but I think at times they've asked him questions. Listen, he's great in terms of what they want. He's absolutely brilliant. They love that. They'll love it till they'll hate it, like Mourinho. But I think what he's learning, and it's easy to do when you're winning games, is to just go, sound, whatever. And I think that's a big. I've seen that from both of them, and I think you have to. You just can't. I can't imagine now. Like Ferguson, you know, Ferguson used to have loads of psychological battle. If you think about it, there's none of that goes on. Very few sort of people getting in for tit for tat. we watched that take the ball, pass the ball, where Mourinho's having a go, and then Pep answered them back, and the players were like, that's the first time I've ever seen him like that. They responded, but Mourinho was trying to get something out of him. But you don't see that anymore. You haven't seen, Klopp saying, he's got to go to Brighton on Sunday, and he's got to get something. He's just like, I'll focus on our team, because all we can do is go and play Wolves and get a win and hope that you haven't heard, like, Forest didn't play against them, but they played against. There's been no psychology, because they're just like, you know what? It's too tiring. I've got to prepare this team. I've got to have them at their very best. I've got to elevate them. I haven't got time for all that, and that all seems to have gone out of the game.
Good, because it's more about the football, isn't it? I think. Listen, Liverpool got a big win. Newcastle had a bit of a go, but still give shocking goals away. Got it back to 2-2, and then obviously Fabinho dives, which is an absolutely shocking decision, outrageous decision by the officials, which again makes you question, what are their instructions at 7:45 by other people, because you can't, never in a million years is that a foul, and the linesman's looking at it, it's not a foul, but he gives it, and the cross comes in, and Origi heads it onto Lascelles, and that's the winning.
I know what you're saying in terms of what I mean. I come from a slightly different angle in terms of, for me, it's the psychological pressure. People, referees are humans. We know referees. The biggest one ever is when a corner is given or a foul's given outside the box, and then the ref realises it wasn't a foul or a corner, so the first thing he does is just give a free kick. It balances it out, and if there's 4 minutes to go, a referee is they fall into that trap, unfortunately, of getting caught up in the game.
Yeah, but if it's at Anfield, I can kind of understand that, but at an away game they shouldn't.
Well, they
can't give free kicks,
but they will, though, won't they?
Free kick.
I mean, it's not just the ref; the linesman gives it. It's
hard in front of it.
It's
really poor.
It is poor. It is very, very poor. But listen, Newcastle should be able to defend better. They should be able to cope better. Players, unfortunately, that's the difference. Is that when players have got really nothing to play for, and it's been a tough game, and Liverpool, by all accounts, are a very, very hard team to play against physically, because of how hard they work, and Klopp's instilled that. And there's only 4 or 5 minutes to go. You can switch off, but the difference is Liverpool's levels are higher, and they don't switch off because it means more to them. Like we were saying before, they're fearless. They are fearless, and that's what wins them games late on. That's what's won them games late on. It's being that, when we played them at Anfield, it's being that moment in the last minute where our goalie completely switches off, our defenders all switch off, but one of their players who shouldn't even be playing for them, he should have left by now if the world was the way it should be, goes and scores a goal, and he's now scored so many important goals now that he'd be a massive heat, like a cult figure, won't he, for Origi, and he does it in this game. And
but you've got, like you say, you've got to applaud them because they carried on going. Yeah, I mean, they had to, because that's what you do at that level. When you're playing catch up.
But this is why I said, it was probably on the Footy Show in October, why I thought they'd win the league. It's because it's that drive that they've got that I thought would separate them. And I mean, we'll wait and see. I massively hope I'm proved wrong. But it's that ability to, this Tottenham game, when really Tottenham should have won it with 3 or 4 minutes to go. We should have won at Anfield, and we end up getting beat like that.
Should have won at Goodison.
There's been so many games where but to them it's like but City flipped to Monday. City now, it's all in their court, because you're thinking Liverpool are going to get back on the league, back top of the league with 1 game left. And Leicester and Brendan Rodgers, and it all written itself. And a lot of people thought, I think that what was interesting about this game is, I think a lot of people thought Leicester were going to go there and have a go at them, and they didn't. They just stuck men behind the ball, and just basically Brendan Rodgers was just like, if I wasn't the former Liverpool manager, maybe I'd have a go, but you know what, I'll take a point tonight.
Well, he tried to just play them on the counter-attack. And it happened a couple of times. City had all of the ball, all of the shots.
61% of possession.
And how many shots?
He had 19 shots, but only 5 on target. Leicester had 7 shots, only 2 on target. 2 off target and 3 blocked. So
I watched most of this, and Leicester were bright on the counter-attack, but the shots that they had were both too straight at Ederson.
But the margins are so small that, you know, Leicester going there and getting a point would have.
Listen, Company scores an absolute worldie.
Well, you know,
for him, you know, breaking forward, and I'm thinking, Aguero, you see Aguero at the end saying, I said no. Yeah. I said no. He wound his foot up, and I was like, no, pass it. And then he took another touch and hit it, and it's in the
But isn't that what's great about football? Is that you get those moments. You know, it's a 90-minute game. Why shouldn't? If someone feels, I mean, listen, if it's the last minute, but if there's 20 minutes to go and you're looking at it and thinking, well, if it's the last minute, it's Phil Jagielka. You know, 99 times out of 1,000.
Yeah, he misses that. Yeah.
But why not have a go? Why not just 20 minutes to go?
Didn't he? He said, "I've been a long time in my career. I'm not having these kids telling me I can't have a shot," which was Company's words. But the thing was, he scores that worldie, and then 2 minutes later, they give the ball away. Someone knocks the ball back to Company, he fell over, and Leicester were in, and he somehow got up and toe-poked it away. Otherwise, Vardy was clean through, would have been on with Ederson, he got that away. And then they had, obviously, City were arsing about with it like they do, and they broke another counter-attack in about the 90th minute or the 89th minute, and Iniacho remembered that he would come on a City fan and thought, tell you what, I'm just going to shin this one.
I'm so glad I didn't watch that game.
That was the worst, because he broke, and when he passed it and he gave it to him and he was in the middle of the goal. That was when it went off. Doop, straight off. And it was worse than watching Everton. But they got the job done, and Pep's normally very calm, but you know, he come out and was like, we know the media wants Liverpool to win.
I thought he was quite calm when he said this, though. He was quite bouncy, wasn't he?
But he doesn't normally. I don't think he normally makes a comment.
No, but with a game to go, I think you can afford to say something like that, because it's going to the last day.
Well, it's up to him, isn't it? No, he's got 5. You know, they had 5. You know, they've got a day over on Liverpool. Liverpool had that Champions League, and it was a big effort to do what they did. Liverpool's worry, if it's a worry, would be after the Lord Mayor's show. They've had an incredible. It doesn't matter what you say. No,
I know, but it's another Lord Mayor's show.
But it doesn't matter. You've seen that happen with other teams. They overcome a big task, and then the game after, even though it's a big game, can you be up for it?
Well, I mean, listen, the two completely different games, aren't they? Man City are away against the team that we know will put 11 men behind the ball, and it will be very similar to the Burnley game, very similar to the Leicester game. In fact, it'll be worse, because, well, it'll be worse in some cases, because Brighton probably will be like, well, we don't expect to come out, so we will sit in. Liverpool begin up against a team in Wolves that obviously guaranteed 7th. They're open. They'll go and play football. Connor Cody will probably kick a couple in. You know, probably celebrated the Cop. So that'll be a lot more open. But in previous, that suited Wolves. That's when Wolves are at their best. I mean, I'd rather they've drawn last week, so it was still just, so they still needed a point to clinch it. But you know, at the end of the day, if Man City are champions of England, they go to Brighton and they win, and it's not a problem. If they are the champions of England, that's what they go and do. You know, that,
if they deserve, they're gonna win it as worthy champions, they should go to Brighton and spank them out of sight. They've got one big effort left. Then they've got a week off before the FA Cup final, but they've got one big match day left in this league to win back-to-back Premier Leagues for them. It's massive achievement to do that. All they have to do is go to Brighton and beat them. Realistically, at 3:30, that game should be over.
It'll be interesting to see whether the likes of
quickly, get 3-0. Don't play Phil Foden, please. Get rid of the myth.
It'll be. He's only a kid.
Won't give a shit. He shouldn't be. I blame him for them getting beat by Palace.
It'll be interesting to. Well, no, that was more Pep. Picks them. It'll be interesting to see whether, you know, some of the injured players do come back for this week, whether they've been almost letting them rest. You you know, that, because I think they do just need that little bit more creativity to just open them up a little bit. So
they need to stop getting through and blazing shots over the bar. I mean, Aguero, and the other night.
So it's all set up, isn't it, for heartbreaking misery?
Yeah.
Sunday, so we'll wait and see. How hard's it going to be to watch?
Horrible, isn't it?
It's
horrible. It's Sky's dream, isn't it? Really, it's Sky Sports.
Sky had a dream.
But it is though, isn't it? 2 games, championship at stake.
So below them, obviously that's the top 2. Below them, Tottenham obviously got beat 1-0 by Bournemouth.
2 cents off.
Yeah, Nathan Ake scores at 90 plus 1.
Foyt and Son.
So they got back-to-back losses in the Premier League and a Champions League defeat as well. Is that right? West Ham. And, yeah. So
3 on their own. Yeah.
They are currently in 4th, which
they're there, mate.
The goal difference. They'd have to lose 4-0 to us, and Arsenal would have to beat Leicester 4-0. Not Leicester, Burnley away.
And Arsenal aren't even getting a point.
Yeah, so that's not happening. So Tottenham are pretty safe. Yeah. Chelsea are safe. They beat Watford 3-0 quite comfortably. Although first half they were poor and they got booed off.
Doesn't matter. Watford are bang off.
Arsenal drew with Brighton 1-1, so they deserve everything they get. Man United drew 1-1 with Huddersfield, so they deserve everything they get. And you're just like, this league's shite. Apart from the top 2. It's so annoying when you think about it.
Why is it annoying?
You just think that it's annoying because they are shite.
But is it?
And we've beaten them.
But what are they shite? Is it?
You're the one who comes on every week and says they're shite.
No, don't say they're shite.
You said there's no gap.
There isn't a gap. Because there isn't a gap. It proves there's no gap.
Absolutely.
The last 3 months have proved that. Well, that means we're shite.
No, we've picked up. We were shite.
I think every team. The thing with the Premier League, unlike any other league, is that every team can get a result against anybody else.
No.
That's the difference. And if you're United, the problem we do in this country, I think, we overhype everybody. Now City and Liverpool are comfortably the best 2 teams in the league at this season. There's no argument with that. It's proven by the points gap. Everybody else is hyped. This top 6 shite is hyped up.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
I mean, we've spoke about this loads of times. It's down to the fact that the top 6 get European football, so and there's jockeying, and therefore, you know, that's the way they want it. You know, but the true problem is that Wolves are 9 points behind Man United. So there's the true problem, is that it is a top 6, and I know it's a top 2, but they don't want it to be a top 2 because they've got TV channels to sell.
Course, yeah.
So they want it to be, and they know that teams in that top 6 are, you know, the likes of Man United and the likes of Liverpool for years being in the top 4. It used to be the top 4, so they sell it on the top 4 because they want to make. They want to. If Liverpool are not winning it, or Man United not winning it, you've got to keep them involved, and then it become the top 6 because you have to keep Man United and Liverpool involved, and then Liverpool improved. And we've seen that before with like the league getting cut off at certain, wherever Man United is or whoever is one of those top, whatever, the league gets cut off, and it is just TV. We know this. It's TV. It runs everything. It runs the money. So therefore, it controls the narrative, and that's what it's become. It's become a narrative, a self-fulfilling narrative. All the money goes to them. They've changed the rules so the money goes to them. You know, and every time anyone dares break into that, no matter who they is, they're dismissed. And then there's always a reason. We've seen it the last few weeks when we've beaten Man United or we've beaten Arsenal. It's not Everton playing well, it's Arsenal playing poorly.
Well, Barca terrible last night.
I don't know, I haven't watched it.
No, but I'm saying, what's the narrative? But Liverpool amazing. Or
but it will be one. It's the great turnaround, isn't it?
Sure.
So yeah, so the top 4 is.
I mean, then Arsenal and United have really spunked that up the ball, haven't they?
Yeah.
Huddersfield away. United had to beat.
I mean, there wasn't that much chance. United needed to beat Chelsea last week.
Yeah, but if they'd have won, Spurs have got 70 points.
Oh,
United have
yeah.
got 60 what? What are United on?
66. So
66, so they've had 68, so they've been 2 points behind Spurs.
Of course,
and they're at home.
But they really had to beat Chelsea last week.
But they were at home to Cardiff on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Everton quite conceivably could go and beat Spurs at Tottenham, and United would have got in. What would Arsenal have had if they'd beat Brighton?
69.
69. So they could have gone to Burnley and won at 72. And even if Tottenham would have drawn with Everton, they would have been in it. So they didn't even put the pressure on Spurs for the last day. So that's what I'm saying when you're looking at gaps.
Yeah, they're both not good. And that's the irony is Chelsea where I've just turned the screw at the right time.
They've got a couple of wins when they needed it, and it's put them in. They're in now, aren't they?
So that's pretty much, that's sorted. Watford, they beat Fulham with a goal with about...
Watford.
Wolves beat Fulham with 15 minutes to go, which basically sealed our fate of not being able to get into Europe. Leicester getting beat by City and Watford losing to Chelsea guarantees Wolves 7th place and a Europa League playoff if Man City beat Watford, of course. So Watford can't finish above us, are they? And if Leicester
are at home to Chelsea and they won't beat Chelsea.
They'd have to win to finish above us and us to not get a point. So that's all sorted. And then at the bottom we had Cardiff playing Palace.
Relegated.
They got beat 3-2 and they're now down.
Both Saturday night games, 3-2 maybe, 5 and quarter. Yeah, Cardiff had chances in this one to win. Palace, we said, are dangerous on the counter-attack.
The
9th away win of the season for Crystal Palace.
Incredible.
It's just mad, given how poor they are at home. But yeah, 9 away wins and it relegated Cardiff. And I mean, to be fair to Warner, he's done a good job to give them a fighting chance. They got to within the second to last game of the season before they got relegated, and they haven't had, they've had... Didn't spend a lot of money, bought a centre forward, he died in a plane crash, just a madness.
Season. Cardiff had 40% possession but had 18 shots, 8 on target. That's really good.
That was quite good for Palace in goal, but again undone with just that little bit of quality. He scored for Palace.
Batshuayi and Zaha.
That's the quality, isn't it? In the final third. Cardiff haven't got any. Cardiff haven't got any. And Palace have got quality in a final third. And that's what we said about Palace the week before.
Workman-like.
Palace are a workman-like team, other than the front. The front three have got quality in the final third. Whether you varying degrees of quality, they've still got some quality in that final third. Zaha, Batshuayi, Ben Teke's a handful. He's not great anymore, but he's a handful. But if you put any of them in Cardiff, it'd elevate Cardiff because there's just that little bit of quality between them. And ultimately Cardiff have paid the price for not being able to buy a centre forward. They were making plans to have Salah and Niasse up front for the last 3 or 4 months of the season, and who knows, Emiliano Salah probably would have scored a few goals for them now. That might have kept them up. It's just sad the way it's finished for them, but that's football, isn't it? And
it was always going to be a challenge, wasn't it? It was always going to be a challenge for them.
2 of the promoted sides down.
Yeah, I mean, and that's basically it, isn't it, for that point of view. But let's just take a little turn. So Norwich promoted as champions.
Yeah.
So we'll see them in the Premier League next season.
Fantastic.
Horrible journey. The German style, playing a lot of football.
Got Pucky, who no one wanted, and he scored about 4 million goals.
Slightly
probably
balding.
Will only get like 4 in the Premier
That'll
League.
Be it. Sheffield United finished 2nd place.
Delighted.
What a brilliant season for them.
Brilliant story. Chris Wilder, big Sheffield United fan. Blade through and through. And all that. Him and Billy Sharp, of course. Billy Sharp, a massive Sheffield United fan, but he's had a couple of goes at the Premier League and it hasn't worked out for him. But he's at his club, and that's a good story for him.
They said they're not going to fall into the trap, didn't they, of spending a lot of money.
There's no point.
No, I know. So that's they're going to come up with what they've got. Maybe keep hold of Kieran Dowell, which is...
They'll spend a few quid in terms of just reinforcement.
Yeah,
they're not going to go and try and outstretch themselves. But I did love Chris Wilder saying, we're going to get dicked in quite a few places next season. But they'll have a go. Listen, Fulham spent more than Everton last summer on players, and it comes second bottom in the Premier League. Huddersfield didn't spend anything really, or the money they spent was on shite. It didn't improve.
It really was on shite.
It was really poor what they did. They went and got Sobby out of Stoke, who was garbage at Stoke, and took him there. So they've done themselves in really by not buying the right kind of player. and have gone down. Now Sheffield United have got a decent team. Now, okay, Wolves done it differently because Wolves did have some Premier League quality players playing for them in the Championship. But if Sheffield United are careful with what they've got, the nucleus of their side will be the team that's just come up, and they'll try to put a little dusting on it. That's what they should do.
Yeah, that's
try to buy something in the top end of the pitch if you can get someone in there. A little bit of experience in the back, maybe Jags into that back four.
Yeah.
For the Premier League.
A couple of loans.
And then see how you go at Christmas. Manage it. Similar to the way Cardiff done. Man, get to Christmas, have a look where you're at, see what you can pick up.
And don't panic if you're in the
I'm not being funny,
bottom.
Right? Don't be a shithouse club. So if the bottom three by Christmas, don't be chasing Chris Wilder because he's not.
And then trying to bring in an Allardyce or
different because it's nonsense.
Yeah, just
leave him. Stick with
your morals.
Leave him in place. And see what he can develop.
Remember, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Remember what you are and who you are, and say, well, you know what? We've been in the Championship for years.
In League One.
Let's go up. Let's go up. Puff our chest out. Have a little go. If it doesn't work, go back down, and then start again and build again. The problem is that clubs come up, change their identity, go down. All those people disappear, and then they're left in a mess. And now you look at clubs like Bolton. Bolton are on their arse, right? I mean, look at the teams who went down last season. Stoke are not competing.
Stoke are like 17.
Swansea, not
they're
competing.
Halfway up, yeah.
Who's the other? Don't know, but they're not in the playoffs.
It was. I can't remember.
Of course it was. That's who it was.
Stoke. This is good. It'll come to me in a minute, but you're absolutely right. They're not. It's not like they've bounced back up, have they? So, if you're looking at. If you're going down, do what like Burnley did. Burnley came up with Dyche, got relegated, had a good go, got relegated, went down, got ready, came back up the next year.
West Brom.
And West Brom. Well, West Brom are very much competing. They'll probably come back up. So
that's why I'd forgotten them.
Yeah. So they sustain themselves then through doing that.
Yeah.
Bournemouth got up and kept the nucleus of what they had and have built on that. You have to try to. The biggest aim for Sheffield United and Norwich next season will be 17th. That's all you should be.
And you only have to look at the bottom half of the table. Bolton, Ipswich, Reading, Wigan, Birmingham, Stoke, Blackburn, Hull. They're all teams.
All Premier League teams.
They've all been Premier League teams in the last 10 minutes or so. Swansea in 10th, Middlesbrough in 7th. Then in the playoffs, so Leeds dropped 3rd. They'll play Derby, who beat West Brom 3-1 in a slightly controversial game because there was a penalty and it looked like he took a massive dive, and I think he might be getting banned for it.
But he didn't. He got kicked out first, didn't he? He did get clipped.
Yeah,
got clipped.
I don't necessarily believe.
I'm not asked. He got clipped.
And West Brom will play Villa. Both of them got beat, and they'll play each other. Derby. Frank Lampard and his many families will play
Leeds against Bielsa. Come on, Frank.
Don't you like Bielsa?
I don't want.
I love a bit of Bielsa.
I hate Leeds. I don't want them up.
I just like Bielsa. I want to see him in a tree at Finch Farm.
No, thank you. I want them to fail. I want Derby to knock them out.
Who would you like to see come up?
Derby.
Why?
Because we've had West Brom. I don't really.
To be fair, Derby's
I don't know whether I'm ready for Villa.
Derby's not. It's a decent away.
And Derby's a good away game, and I want to see Frank on their line. And I think they play nice football, Derby. Pass it round. So I'd like to see them come up and us to pull their pants down.
There you go. Let us know your thoughts. Who do you want to come up? Who do you want?
Why would you want Leeds up?
I didn't say I wanted Leeds up. I asked if you like Bielsa.
Bielsa's great, but I don't want him to come up. It can be great at Leeds.
That'd be funny if Leeds didn't come up. Like,
what's in them?
Leeds.
Horrible.
Yeah, they're horrible. They're all horrible. I hate every other football team in the world. They're just all horrible.
One of my mates is a Derby fan, so I don't mind.
Fair enough.
They're no thingy to us, are they?
I know, but it's when they start acting like
Derby.
We're going to come up and we're going to...
Derby aren't going to do that.
No, I know.
Derby, no. The other three, no, West Brom, I don't think West Brom are like that either. Villa are a fantastic football club and a great history, but some of their fans think they'll come up and I will be 6th or 5th. No, but that's what
I've seen their team. It's horrendous.
I know.
It's horrendous. And you've got to spend a fortune. And It's not happening.
West Brom.
It was always horrible though, wasn't it? It was like always horrible. Like that. To be fair, Derby haven't been up for a while. It'd be nice to have them back in.
Yeah. Pride Park's a nice little trip. Pride Park.
Power one shop, eh?
Been in a few times.
There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
And the yak scored. Quality.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who do you want to come up? And how ridiculously terrified are you for Sunday? Can you even watch our match knowing that there'll be like updates? See, I'm just going to find the jargest stream from...
What's it on mute? Turn your phone off.
It's just flashes from Indonesia where all they'll be talking about is Cenk's hair. That's all I want.
They won't. They'll be Salah 5-0. Won't it? That's what it'll be. Shane Toffee. Glenn Murray. No!
Mario!
All I want is I want it 5 o'clock Sunday night, Man City League Champions, and then we can put this season to bed.
Can't quite put this
season
to bed, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. On the footy show.
Do it for Cruyff.
They might be doing it for Gaza at this point.
Why? What's wrong with Gaza?
That's right with Gaza. There you go. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. This has been the Premier League show. We hope next week's episode will be joyous, because if it's not, then there won't be a next week's episode. See you later.